Ghost didn't die because he was weak. He died because the people closest to him couldn't understand his vision. They thought he was the villain, the liar, the manipulator. But now, as the bodies pile up and the streets swallow everything they love, one truth is becoming clear. Ghost was never the problem. He was the only one who had the answers. Asterisk, there's something tragic about a man who sees the future. But no one around him is ready to listen. Asterisk, that was Ghost. Asterisk, James St. Patrick. The man behind the name Ghost wasn't just another street dealer chasing fast money. He had a dream, a big one. He wanted out. He wanted more than the corners, more than guns, more than respect earned through fear. He wanted real power. Not the kind that comes from holding a block, but the kind that builds a legacy, clean, untouchable, unstoppable. Asterisk, but the thing is, when you try to leave the life, people start thinking you're better than them. And that's exactly how it went down. Asterisk, Tommy saw Ghost's desire to go legit as betrayal. Tariq thought it was fake, that his father was living a double life just to control him. What they didn't understand was that Ghost wasn't running from the game. Asterisk, he was trying to save them from it. Asterisk, Ghost had the experience. He knew the streets had no loyalty. He knew that sooner or later, every move you make in the game leads to only two outcomes, the grave or a prison cell. That's why he pushed for the nightclub. That's why he built political connections. He was playing chess, while everyone else was still arguing over checkers. Asterisk, but instead of seeing that, his own people turned against him. Angela, Tasha, Tommy. Even his own son. Asterisk, Ghost became the enemy because he tried to change the rules. Asterisk, and in their eyes, change meant weakness. Asterisk, but the truth is, Ghost was the strongest one in the room. Asterisk, he didn't just survive the streets, he mastered them. He built an empire from nothing and tried to turn that into something that would last beyond his death. He wanted Tariq to live a different life, not one ruled by fear, guns, or drugs. A life with education, with real power that no one could take from him. Asterisk, but none of them listened. Asterisk, Tariq saw control. Tommy saw betrayal, and all the people Ghost protected, they were too deep in their feelings to see the plan. Asterisk now. Years later, they're trapped in the same cycle Ghost tried to break. Asterisk, Tommy is still fighting ghosts of the past, and Tariq is walking a path that looks a lot like his father's. But darker. Asterisk, they thought Ghost was the problem. Asterisk, but he was really the blueprint. Asterisk, and one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day. Asterisk, they're both going to realize Ghost was right. Asterisk, Ghost wasn't just a nickname. Asterisk, it was a mask, a shield, a strategy. Asterisk, James St. Patrick created Ghost because he had to, not because he wanted to. Asterisk, in the beginning, Ghost was just a hustler trying to survive. He grew up in a world where power was taken, not earned. Where loyalty could be bought, but never trusted. He learned the rules of the game early: stay sharp, stay silent, and never show weakness. But even back then, James had a mind that didn't belong in the streets. He was thinking bigger. He was never in love with the street life. He just used it because he didn't have another way. Asterisk, but what made Ghost different was this. He never planned to die in the game. Asterisk, he didn't want to be another hood legend who got gunned down at the top. He wanted out. He wanted a life where his kids could go to school without looking over their shoulders. Where his name was written in buildings, not police files. Where power came with protection, not paranoia. Asterisk, that's why he built Truth, the nightclub. It wasn't just a cover for his drug empire, it was his escape plan. The front that could become the real thing. Ghost saw that if he could clean his money and make it legitimate, he could build a future that didn't involve ducking bullets or hiding bodies. Asterisk, he didn't want to die a king of the streets. Asterisk, he wanted to live as a king of the city. Asterisk, but here's the tragedy. The people closest to him couldn't understand that vision. Asterisk, to Tommy, the streets were the life. Ghost trying to go legit felt like betrayal. Asterisk to Tasha. Ghost changing his path meant leaving her behind. Asterisk to Tariq. It looked like lies and secrets, like his father was living a double life to cover up the truth. Asterisk, but Ghost's truth was complicated. Asterisk, yes. He lied. Yes, he hurt people. Asterisk, but every move he made was with a purpose, to protect, to provide, to push his family out of the world that made him. Asterisk, he wanted to turn the game into a stepping stone, not a coffin. Asterisk, and the sad part is, he was close. Asterisk, so close. Asterisk, he had politicians in his pocket, a growing business, plans for the future. Asterisk, he even set up a clean life for Tariq, college, money, a way out. Asterisk, but in the end, Ghost couldn't escape the people he loved. Asterisk, the same people he bled for, killed for, sacrificed everything for. Asterisk, they were the ones who pulled him back in. Asterisk, because here's the truth about power. It's lonely at the top. Asterisk, and when you try to climb out of the pit, the ones still in it will pull you back down. Asterisk, that's what happened to Ghost. Asterisk, he wasn't perfect. He wasn't innocent. Asterisk, but he was smarter, stronger, and more focused than anyone else around him. Asterisk, he saw the future, not just for himself, but for everyone he loved. Asterisk, and that's what makes his death feel so heavy. Asterisk, because he died trying to pull them into a better life, and they mistook it for control. Asterisk, Ghost was the blueprint, a man who mastered the game, then tried to leave it behind. Asterisk, but what happens when the people around you refuse to let you go? Asterisk, what happens when your own blood becomes your biggest enemy? Asterisk, that's where the real tragedy begins. Asterisk, and now, with Ghost gone, the people who turned against him are realizing that playing the game without him isn't as easy as they thought. Asterisk, Tommy is still chasing shadows. Asterisk, Tariq is sinking deeper into the mess Ghost tried to clean up. Asterisk, and every move they make brings them one step closer to the truth they never wanted to face. Asterisk, Tommy Egan was more than just Ghost's best friend. Asterisk, he was his brother, not by blood, but by bond. They grew up in the same war zone, fought the same battles, and built the empire together. When Ghost was the mind, Tommy was the muscle. When Ghost played chess, Tommy brought the firepower. Asterisk, but that bond, it shattered. Asterisk, and it shattered because Tommy couldn't see the bigger picture. Asterisk, Ghost tried to elevate the game. He wanted out, but Tommy, asterisk, Tommy was the game. Asterisk, he didn't want to leave the streets. He was married to them. The corners, the crew, the chaos. That was all he knew. That was all he wanted. Asterisk, so when Ghost started talking about clean money, political connections, nightclubs, and future plans, Tommy didn't see growth. He saw betrayal. Asterisk, to Tommy, Ghost turning legit meant abandoning everything they built. Asterisk, it meant walking away from the only life they ever knew. Asterisk, and worse, it meant leaving him behind. Asterisk, but the truth was, Ghost was never trying to leave Tommy. Asterisk, he was trying to bring him with him. Asterisk, he wanted a future where they could be more than drug lords, where they could sit in rooms with billionaires instead of being hunted by the feds. He saw a life where no one could touch them, not with bullets, not with wiretaps, not with betrayals. Asterisk, but Tommy couldn't see that. Asterisk, he saw the streets slipping away and thought Ghost was turning his back. Asterisk, that's when the war started, not with guns, but with doubt. Asterisk, Tommy started pulling away. He stopped trusting Ghost. Asterisk, he listened to people like Tasha, who whispered lies and fed his paranoia. Asterisk, and when Ghost made decisions, hard ones, Tommy took it personally. Asterisk, he forgot all the times Ghost protected him. Asterisk, all the times Ghost cleaned up his messes, took the heat, or made the sacrifice. Asterisk, instead, Tommy focused on one thing. Ghost was changing. Asterisk, and in Tommy's world, change was the enemy. Asterisk, but here's the truth Ghost tried to teach him. Asterisk, the streets don't love you. Asterisk, they don't repay loyalty. They don't reward consistency. Asterisk, they chew you up and leave you dead or in jail. Asterisk, Ghost knew this. He survived it. Asterisk, but Tommy He doubled down. Asterisk, he stayed loyal to a world that never truly loved him back. Asterisk, and now, years later, look at where he is. Asterisk alone. Asterisk running from enemies. Asterisk caught in wars that never seemed to end. Asterisk, he's still fighting ghosts, not just James, but all the ones left behind. Asterisk, because when Ghost died, he took more than just a body with him. Asterisk, he took the vision. Asterisk, the strategy. Asterisk, the only real plan any of them had to survive. Asterisk, now, Tommy's still playing a game where the rules never changed. But the players did. Asterisk, and without Ghost, he's stuck reacting instead of leading. Asterisk, there's no clean money. No nightclub, no peace. Asterisk, just violence, revenge, and regret. Asterisk, and deep down, Tommy knows. Asterisk, he won't say it out loud. He might never admit it. Asterisk, but in those quiet moments when the smoke clears and he's left alone with his thoughts. Asterisk, he feels it. Asterisk, the silence that follows chaos. Asterisk, the loneliness of being the last man standing. Asterisk, the weight of a truth too painful to speak. Asterisk, Ghost was right. Asterisk, Ghost tried to break the cycle. Asterisk, Tommy kept it alive. Asterisk, and now he's trapped in it. Asterisk, and the worst part, he had a way out. Asterisk, he just didn't trust the only person who truly offered it. Asterisk, that's the tragedy of Tommy Egan. Asterisk, not that he was betrayed. Asterisk, but that he couldn't see who was really trying to save him. Asterisk. Tariq St. Patrick thought he was smarter than his father. Asterisk, he thought Ghost was a liar, a manipulator, and a hypocrite, a man who said one thing and did another. Asterisk, but what Tariq didn't understand is that power comes with a price. Asterisk, and Ghost was the only one who ever tried to pay it for him. Asterisk, Tariq wanted truth. He wanted control. Asterisk, but most of all, he wanted to be his own man. Asterisk, and in his eyes, Ghost stood in the way of that. Asterisk, from a young age, Tariq watched his father move like a king, commanding respect, hiding secrets, manipulating situations like a master. Asterisk, he hated it. Asterisk, but he was also learning from it. Asterisk, he thought he could outplay Ghost at his own game. Asterisk, what he didn't realize is that he was the game Ghost was playing all along. Asterisk, Ghost's biggest mistake wasn't lying. It wasn't cheating. Asterisk, it was believing that he could protect Tariq from the truth without preparing him for the consequences. Asterisk, he built walls around his son, tried to shield him from the streets. Asterisk, sent him to school, gave him money, pushed him toward a legit future. Asterisk, but Tariq didn't want that. Asterisk, he wanted to know the streets. He wanted to live like his father, without living through the struggle. Asterisk, he thought he could take the shortcut. Asterisk, but shortcuts in the game. Asterisk, they lead straight into traps. Asterisk, by the time Ghost realized that Tariq was slipping, it was already too late. Asterisk, the anger was there. The distrust was deep. Asterisk, and the worst part? Tariq started seeing Ghost as the villain. Asterisk, he didn't see the father, who worked in silence to keep him alive. Asterisk, he saw a man trying to control him. Asterisk, so what did Tariq do? Asterisk, he stepped into the game head first. Asterisk, he thought he could do it better, cleaner, smarter. Asterisk, he thought he could handle the pressure, the secrets, the bodies. Asterisk, but all he did was become exactly what Ghost warned him about. Asterisk, he became cold, calculated. Asterisk, he started lying to everyone, killing when it suited him. Asterisk, surrounded by people who only smile when he's useful and will turn on him the second he's not. Asterisk, he has no real friends. No family. Asterisk, just enemies in disguise. Asterisk, now, every step he takes pulls him deeper into the very life Ghost died trying to protect him from. Asterisk, and the irony. Asterisk, Tariq is living Ghost's old life without Ghost's wisdom. Asterisk, he's learning in real time what Ghost already knew. Asterisk, that trust will get you killed. Asterisk, that love is a weakness in a world run by fear. Asterisk, and that power without peace isn't power. It's a prison. Asterisk, Tariq thought Ghost was holding him back. Asterisk now he realizes Ghost was holding up the entire foundation. Asterisk the moves Ghost made, the lies, the silence, the control. It wasn't about pride. Asterisk it was about keeping Tariq alive. Long enough to escape the life. Asterisk Ghost even left him money, a clean will, a way out. Asterisk but instead of using it, Tariq spit on it. Asterisk now look at him. Asterisk he's got blood on his hands, a target on his back, and no idea who he can really trust. Asterisk he's in the same cycle, making the same enemies. Asterisk fighting the same demons Ghost tried to bury. Asterisk and here's the real heartbreak. Tariq was never supposed to become Ghost. Asterisk he was supposed to surpass him. Asterisk but without listening to the man who saw it all coming. Asterisk he's doomed to repeat the same story. Asterisk only this time it might end worse. Asterisk Ghost used to tell him, asterisk greater than you hate me because you are me. Asterisk Tariq never understood what that meant. Until now, asterisk because the deeper he goes, the more he realizes. Asterisk Ghost wasn't trying to make him weak. Asterisk Ghost was trying to make him free. Asterisk and soon, just like Tommy. Asterisk Tariq will be forced to look in the mirror and admit the one thing he never wanted to believe. Asterisk every story has a turning point. Asterisk a moment where the truth can't be denied. Asterisk for Tommy and Tariq, that moment is coming fast. And when it hits, it won't come with warnings. Asterisk it'll come with blood, loss, and silence. Asterisk because here's what they both fail to understand. Asterisk Ghost didn't just predict the consequences. He planned for them. Asterisk he knew what the game demanded. He knew what loyalty really cost. Asterisk he saw every betrayal coming. And yet, he still tried to protect the people who betrayed him. Asterisk because Ghost wasn't just playing to survive. Asterisk he was trying to outlive the life. Asterisk and now that he's gone, asterisk Tommy is still fighting to prove he's the last man standing. But for what? Asterisk he has no crew, no empire, no peace. Just violence and ghosts chasing him in every city he touches. Asterisk even in Chicago, even with new enemies and fresh opportunities, he's still haunted by one fact. Asterisk Ghost tried to save him. Asterisk and he threw it away. Asterisk Tommy stayed loyal to the streets. Asterisk now the streets are eating him alive. Asterisk and Tariq. Asterisk Tariq is caught in a war that was never supposed to be his. Asterisk he's balancing school, murder, lies, and money just like Ghost once did. Asterisk he's juggling enemies, the heat, and his own fake alliances. Asterisk but here's the problem. Tariq doesn't have a ghost to clean up the mess. Asterisk he is the ghost now. Asterisk except this time, there's no backup, no mentor. Asterisk just threats closing in on every side. Asterisk Tariq thought power meant freedom. Asterisk now he's learning what Ghost already knew. Asterisk real power only comes when you can walk away. Asterisk but walking away is no longer an option. Asterisk he's in too deep. Asterisk he's made the same mistakes, trusting the wrong people, making short-term plays, sacrificing love for survival. Asterisk and just like Ghost said, the game only ends two ways. Asterisk a casket or a cage. Asterisk that's the consequence. Asterisk not just of the choices they made. Asterisk but of ignoring the man who tried to save them from making them. Asterisk Ghost wasn't perfect. Asterisk he lied. He killed. He manipulated. Asterisk but he did all of it with a purpose. Asterisk to build a future. Asterisk to create a legacy that didn't involve blood on his son's hands or a gun in his best friend's fist. Asterisk he gave them everything, power, protection, and a way out. Asterisk they gave him a bullet. Asterisk and now? Asterisk they're stuck in the world he tried to bury. Asterisk so what comes next? Asterisk maybe Tommy survives. Maybe he doesn't. Asterisk maybe Tariq figures it out before it's too late. Asterisk but either way, both of them are learning the same painful lesson. Asterisk Ghost didn't die because he was wrong. Asterisk Ghost died because they weren't ready for how right he was. Asterisk and as they both fight to survive in a world Ghost warned them about, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Asterisk, he wasn't just the past. Asterisk, he was the plan. Asterisk, and now that he's gone, asterisk, the whole empire is falling apart. Asterisk,